Okay, in part one, we're going to be doing a lot of editing of a text file. So I'm going to open up this N10 EKS file. So that's one that's been sent through. So by default, I want to actually save this in a format I'm going to be able to use. So I'm going to do a save as, change the location, and give it a decent title, and change it from rich text format to Word document, so it'll be able to save all my settings. So I've got this here now. I now want to change it, some of the page settings. So I'm going to go into layout, change the page size to A4, so that's 0.4 done. Now change the orientation to landscape, which is 0.5, and change the margins to 4 centimeters. If what I want is not shown, I'm going to choose custom options or custom margins, set everything to 4 centimeters. Okay, so we've got our nice 4 centimeter margins that have been applied. And now I want to add some details into the footer. So I'm going to go up to Insert, and there's the footer option. You've got a few default options here. You can and then click on Edit Footer. So jump down to that section. You can also just double click in here, and I want the file name inserted. So I'm going to go and Insert. It should be Quick Parts, Explore Quick Parts, drop down. Field, ... and I can choose file name, and it puts the file name in there automatically, and that will automatically update for me. You can also choose put file location. So if I change that, field, links, all the other options that you might need. But we'll just leave it with the file name in there. Serif fonts are basically fonts that, like typewriter fonts. So I'm just going to Control A to highlight everything, and choose a serif font. So things like Times New Roman with little ticky bits are good choices. So I'm going to change that. And single line spacing. So right click, paragraph, line and page, lining spacing. See, it's got 1.5. I can choose single. I can also just use Control 1 on the keyboard to sort that out. Now I need to put it in the header. So I'm just going to double click into the header section, candidate number, which is my AC number, and put that on the left. There's a few other options for doing page numbers. So if I want to put a page number down the bottom, I can go Insert, fields or page numbers, dates, and so on. And adding in a page, so it now puts the page number into those sections. Okay. Now to justify the text, back into the main section. So I've skipped around a little bit here. I did sort of points 12 to 17, but I'm now actually just going to work through which points 10 and 11. So Control A to highlight all the text. Back on the Home tab, I'm going to fully justify and change all of that font text to 10 points. Now I want a blank line at the end of each paragraph. I could manually go and put an enter in, or Control A, highlight the text, format the paragraph, right click paragraph, and I want spacing after 10 point. That will put an in blank line after every single line. Now, I'm going to put a blank line at the start of the document, and I want to put in a title with a heading, EKS Club News. And I'm going to change the font size of that to be 36. Add a sans serif font. And below that, a little subheading in italics. And that's going to be my name. And I want that in 18 point. Now that subheading, make it italic, using the italic tool. And underline it as well. Okay, and the heading and subheading, want them right aligned rather than fully justified. So we get those sorted. So if we zoom out, you can sort of see all of that information. Now I want to put this into 2 columns, so I'm going to click here and highlight all the text. Change my layout, go to columns and choose 2. And I've got basic layout, 2 columns, equally spaced. So now if I want to change the gap between these 2 columns, I need to go down into the column section, click on the more columns options, and I've got a column spacing. I'm just going to change that to 1 centimeter. And so that just changes the gap between the 2 columns just a little bit. So made sure all that formatting is done, so we'll leave that at this point for this video, and we'll come across and continue working on basically from point 28.